it might not be too greedy considering that you have a Tig and a Phobius.
For sure, the Valentina.
Yeah.
Maybe both.
Yeah, they might just lean into both, depending on the next bans here for BTK. Because giving a Tig ult to the BTK's lineup now might be equally terrifying. If Falcon don't have to worry about a Valentina, they might actually just be able to run away with this.
I mean, there's also the possibility of... I mean, we haven't seen the jungler come out from the side of Falcons just yet, and I think it's a really good idea to kind of hold back on what it is, just so that you could find an angle to punish the mid laners now that you're already pinching it, right? And I think in BTK, straightforward, get rid of the Beatrix, get rid of... probably also get rid of the Bruno while you're at it, right?
But 75%, it's looking like an alpha once again. Call it now.
I mean, Alpha, Tig, Vex, at one point, 2.5 months ago, we would say that's an ultimate winning combo. You already win the early to mid.
Yep. But here in M6, here in this current patch, things are not so simple. There's the Cho. They're still continuing to attack Shark here. So that does leave the Valentina open.
Are they not worried? So they're probably going to overload them with ults at this point, right? It's Alpha plus X, and I would only imagine that if they could get their hands on Beatrix, they would. But since it's banned out, does that mean they need self-peel for their marksman, who's going to get outranged anyway by the Death Sonata? Because I think even at least with the Moskov, the Spirit of Despair, oh, Hylos is coming at me, I can at least push you back, and if, you know, Mobazane happens to be standing behind you, I don't mind the extra bit of time.
They're asking for the Bruno.
I mean, that's true. But whatever the jungle needs to be, they just really have to make sure that yeah, he'll get his Bruno. It has to be a strong 4-man team fight. I know they're just gonna go for a full 5-man team fight. Valentina wide open and would be the perfect pick right now. Unless they've cooked up something that will give more difficulty to this Tigreal and this Phobius.
After what happened in game 2, would you still glue?
Oh, I don't know. I think you might. I mean, at least the matchup into Phobius is like a lot better compared to CC at a bare minimum.
Yeah. Right. They both leave the lane about the same time. You're still worrying about the same threats from mid.
At least you'll be healthy when you leave the lane.
Yep.
That's a really tough one.
Yeah. Again, we did post a question, the EXP lane pick. If it's Arlott, though, I might be skeptical. But I think it needs to be active.
It's a Joy again!
Okay, they go back to the Joy for White Chicken, and there's the Valentina, as we said, for Hoon. It's lineup of BTK. Did Falcon prepare for a last pick to counter it all?
Is this the venom we're looking for, the poison? Because Burmese pythons are non-venomous.
Yeah.
They take down their prey with sheer force. Brute force. Is that what we're looking for? Is that the alpha?
Well, he does pack on a brute force breastplate sometimes.
That he does.
He does come in packing as well.
But that's spelled out. There's no sense of urgency nor an element of surprise if this is indeed the alpha.
Yeah.
They just have to play good.
They just, I honestly think that both teams are just going to have to play good. I think they're trying to, you know, especially from Falcon's side, replay game number 1, except better, less mistakes. Oh, no alpha, Suyo.
The switch up.
All right, a little bit more mobile, a little bit more chances of being able to flank. They don't have something along the lines of the CC, so it might fall into the hands of Dax to break the formation. Game number 3, it's Falcon and BTK.
A single best of 1 now separates both these teams from moving on to the knockouts or having to face off in the final day of the M6 Swiss stages. My name is once again Staffa, joined by Mirko to bring you game 3 of a very intense series.
Oh man. Again, it's back to a best of 1. Falcon Esports with the draft, this is technically, this is very similar to how they were able to win the MM qualifiers, right? The Bruno on Benny, and man, Kid X on that signature Tigreal. We'll see if they can do it. Reverse sweeping BTK just like we saw in match 1. It was a reverse sweep.
But these two teams have both elected to go back to the basics, the all-reliable, the pocket picks, the comfort strategies, but only one will emerge victorious. Will Falcons replicate their success during MSC, or will the Bloodthirsty Kings finally claim the vengeance they've been eager for since then?
We'll have to see. BTK back on almost just game 1 all over again, right? The only difference here being Hoon on the Valentina, not the Lo Yi. But this game, the Valentina. I was pretty surprised. I think the panel was also pretty surprised that we didn't see the Valentina banned out, considering they already have a Tigreal who might actually want to go for the Valentina to steal away the implosion. That's a retry. I believe Dax was able to get it. Yes, he was. Kid X, though, will be chunked quite a bit, but he should be happy with that trade.
Yeah, under normal circumstances, you would probably want to ban the Valentina, especially with Tigreal on your side, so you don't have to deal with like counter implosions. But getting rid of that Cho, I think, did have a little bit higher priority for Falcon Esports, just to make sure that BTK doesn't have a hero that's able to separate their front lines, right? So far, BTK has shown that they're very effective at playing more scattered team fights, so they don't want to give initiators that can create those situations for them. In terms of emblem setups as well, we are seeing things go back to a bit more of a standard style, but a heavy emphasis on damage for the Falcon Esports side, with that Master Assassin on Benny, as well as the penetration emblem for PX7 and Royal Milk.
He knows without the Low Yi, he's actually, without the Low Yi on the hands of Hoon, he will be in the lane much more just 1v1 against Zia. So that's why this time he goes for the Master Assassin, no longer the tenacity I believe that we saw from game number 1. I think it's a good decision. PX7 already sent up top to get level 4 quickly to shove in the waves, but Mobazane still doing a good job of just holding the turtle away from Dax. Will reset it and will not give the full control over to Falcon Esports.
We have to note, Suyo was very, very popular for a time because it was impossible to out-retry him. That health threshold has been nerfed, but Shark
will take a bit of damage. Fried Chicken jumps in though, like to find beats over the Dax. Not enough damage to actually zone anyone away. Kid X flickering in front, getting the implosion. Who doing the same, but is only going to catch on to 2 members as PX7 pops an Eternal Guard. And now it's Zane still sustaining. Royal Milk going inside, trying to go in for the pursuit, finding Shark again. In for the pursuit, should be ready. Jumps in one more time. Shark gets the stun down. Mobazane is trying desperately to keep him alive as Dax gets the turtle, and that's first blood over to Royal Milk. Mobazane going to be shoved again, still able to dash away. Royal Milk goes in for the pursuit. Chicken walking up with a vengeance, going on to Dax, but look at his placement from Royal Milk. Infernal Pursuit. Now it's Mobazane that's going to be caught. Infernal Pursuit one more time. Zane able to kite away. Sia joins in the team and picks up a double.
Ooh, it's personal between these two teams here. An extended fight around the turtle and then extended into the purple buff. It's really hard to say which team actually came out on top in that one because it did end up being very, very scrappy.
One more ball. Benny gets the kill, punishing Zia for rotating. You stay in my lane.
Falcon Esports now starting to recognize the habits of BTK a little bit more and understanding that this is not an opponent that you can give map control over to. It is time to take your foot off of the brake pedal. It is go. You have a Tigreal Vexana mid duo. It is so good at countering rotations. As long as you're able to keep track of where BTK is, Falcon Esports can stop them from being able to regroup at any point in the game.
That was a good hold by Shark, though. It could have been way more punishable by Benny had Shark not held the wave. But luckily for Zia, he gets the 2 kills, gets taken out still, but he's able to actually still get the XP and gold from the minion waves. Chicken up top, this is a different story this time around. Royal Milk actually just getting the lane advantage, and Dax, this is the reason Suyo is still really good. Despite the nerfs onto Soul Sever, you still deal a lot of damage with all your other skills. And to heroes, it wasn't really nerfed, it was only the objective damage.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of utility, this hero, still, because of the number of skills he has available in his arsenal. The Hunter Strike already completed. Dax should be able to start rotating around along with Kid X and PX7 to really dish out burst damage. And that's going to be good, right? Falcon Esports, the more advantage they can get, the slower they can force the BTK members into playing. And when they have a Granger on their side, they're really trying to upscale that mid-game momentum.
Hoon has Eternal Guard, will be poked down by Penny. Implosion from Kid X onto 2 Dax, finding the Retribution onto him. Mobazane jumping in the back line, so will Chicken with the electrifying beats. Now able to push out some damage though. Zia trying to cut away, but Royal Milk is dismantling the back line of BTK. Dax with the Soul Sever slashes. Hoon will be able to escape. Dax go for the stun. Hoon barely getting out, but Falcon Esports got the dub everywhere in that fight.
The Burmese Falcons showing us how it's done right now. They've recognized their opponents. They know how they play. They know how they operate. They are punishing BTK for very tight front lines, playing around Mobazane on this Fredrin. The Tigreal has always been a concern for BTK's exact style of gameplay, which is why they have been banning it out consistently against a player like Kid X, but it slipped through the cracks this time, and you can see how effective he is being with that timing. He's not using it to force battles. He knows that BTK, they've got those trigger fingers, you know, they're gonna want to start things themselves, and that is when he can jump on them and strike.
Falcon Esports. This is a very, very different Falcon Esports from Game 1. Despite the same draft almost from BTK, Benny is not 0-2 on the Bruno. He's 1-0. He is scaling up to be a monster. Already almost Berserker's Fury at the 6-minute mark will be given the space by Kid X to get the turret up top. Level 9, a level ahead of Zia already. And we know how lethal Benny on the Bruno can be. Zia will be able to get a trade down below though, but as we were talking about, Benny gets that Berserker's Fury.
Berserker's Fury, 2 items completed in 6.5 minutes. This is a huge problem now for BTK. We already know Bruno, he accelerates the game, right? You want to end it before... Hold on.
Check in with a vengeance, able to cut away for now. Kid X will be chain CC and Hoon gets the pick off.
BTK really needing to find some sort of punish there. The ideal would have been a kill on Benny, but removing Kid X for another 10 seconds is actually great timing because the turtle has just come up. This will allow BTK the more comfortably positioned, but look at Benny's damage already.
Ridiculous damage. Royal Milk going in. Benny put some damage down onto Shark again, and Falcon Esports, they were able to buy enough time. Kid X has spawned back in the game. White Chicken looking for the back line, will be going on the BX7 electrifying beast mode, but Zane chain sees him. Dax gets the turtle though. BTK still caught in the fight. That's a pure fight from Zia! Kid X finds an implosion! 2 members caught in the implosion. Zane brought back again, and that will be Zane trying to run away. But you cannot run away from the infernal pursuit. Benny continues with the siege, and it is a win by Falcon Esports again.
With the talons of a falcon and the eyes of a hawk, the Burmese representatives with their eye on the prize the entire time. Fried chicken in the backline does not matter. Losing PX7, just a trifle because they get the turtle and they're able to surround BTK immediately. They have way more punishing power over time.
Check in with a vengeance. Benny assassinated in the back. Kid X dealt with as well. A bit of an overstay from Falcon Esports, overextending to get the orange buff, and they will be punished for it.
We have to note, White Chicken's still going to be a threat to Benny as long as he's not minding his position, and in that case, they were definitely pushed up a little bit too far. Not really respecting BTK after their previous battle wins. Even a flicker now forced out from a Royal Milk. Falcon, they still have the gold lead, they still have the tower advantage, and Benny is farming well, but that kill is going to stifle that speed a little bit and give BTK a bit more breathing room.
Man, you forget about it. You just... When you see a lot of these fights go in Falcon Esports' way, you completely forget the damage that Chicken can do when he's on Vengeance and electrifying beats to a marksman. And I guess we were reminded of that. Benny won't make the same mistake twice. Dax, though, however, will try to ensure that that mistake doesn't happen twice. If he's able to poke down Zia and the rest of the members constantly with the arrows, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we have to note, White Chicken focusing on PX7 and Benny in most of these fights, it means that Dax is actually going by unchecked a lot of the time, right? The frontliners of BTK are not actually too well equipped for handling Asuyo with his max HP damage, and because of that, he's actually able to whittle down Shark and Mobazane quite efficiently.
Oh, man.
Even Zia having a hard time finding safe positioning, especially since Benny just completed that Malefic gun.
Oh, that's painful. And the thing is, that was literally just Dax with Royal Milk skill 2. That's it. No Curse Blast, no Benny with the footballs there. I don't know. If Benny gets a crit plus the combo earlier, could they have gotten Zia? Would that have been enough damage to take him down?
I think it actually would have been, right? Since he just finished Malefic gun right before
damage.
that.
You see that damage onto minions? Benny's online.
Honestly, the more items a Bruno builds up, the heavier his balls become, I feel like. That's basically what's occurring with Bruno as he gets more farm. It goes up to like bowling balls, then to cannonballs. I don't really know what the ultimate is because you usually don't live that long anyway. But Falcon Esports are now playing the slow game, trying to bait BTK out of safety so that they can get a better opportunity for Benny to start melting them down.
Good poke, Royal Milk stunned up again. Mobazane trying to put the poke, Kinex! Going with the implosion, but only onto Mobazane. The Eternal Guard comes in as well. That's going to be Hoon potting some damage. Mobazane taken down. White Chicken looking for the flag. Will be stunned. CC. White Chicken will fall. Royal Milk gets his shark is burning down. But he survives. Free Lord to Falcon Esports. There is absolutely no chance for the BloodThirstyKings to contest.
The implosion only caught Mobazane. But when you're in a Lord dance, the enemy jungler is always going to be the best target you can go for regardless. And there is no way he is surviving both Jax and Benny when they are this farmed up. And then after that, being able to land the Blade Surge in the middle of the electrifying beats to catch out White Chicken, Falcon Esports have come to play, and they are showing BTK why they are still to be feared. A 5k net worth lead now. We can see Benny even picking up that Rose Gold Meteor BOD completed by Jax. If you thought that they were at their power spikes before, you haven't seen anything yet.
And you can see the respect from Benny, right? That Rose Gold Meteor already. Zia is not dealing enough damage to actually threaten anyone just yet from Falcon Esports. He needs to find the... He needs to thread the needle. He needs to get onto PX7. It's been hard doing it, but somehow they get him. Mobazane looking for the taunt over to Royal Milk. Milk doesn't have the flicker, but is... They can't go for the punish. Oh, Worldy. That's the bounce. Taking almost half HP, and Falcon will go for the base turret. That is base turret number 1 in the mid lane, falling down. It's tier 2 dealt with by Dax in the bottom. All while we're talking about it. Zia going for that Sonata over to PX7. Hoon trying to push out some damage again on the Kid X, but the base turret will fall again. Royal Milk walking up. Glorious pathway from Shark. Looking for a moment, but will not be able to find it. Dax in the mid lane will just blink away, and Falcon Esports have dealt with the far lane base turret for the next Lord.
So far, we could see that Falcons, everything is going exactly to plan. BTK, I like the discipline they showed earlier, and it's clear they're keeping track of the flicker timing on Kid X as well, because they were willing to group up to melt down the Lord without worrying about that potential flicker implosion combo. So it's very important that they know the timing on this battle spell, because it has been their undoing in almost every single fight. But we have reached the stage of the game where if you are not ending against a Bruno, you are in a lot of trouble, and BTK are nowhere close to that situation. They are the ones being threatened. Benny is almost maxed out on items. Dax is still a consistent threat, and they're having difficulty even breaking through Royal Milk in the first place. They are not able to find the angle they need, and Falcon Esports knows it.
Kid X finds the implosion. Instant vengeance from White Chicken. Benny will be caught in the bad situation. PX7 gets the Eternal Guard down, and that will take him down. Dax gets a 3-man stun. It's the kite back now as Shark pops in to revitalize. No Chicken. Benny. That damage now Windtalker 2 for Benny. Dax gets the Melfic Roar. 15 seconds for the Lord, and Chicken will not respawn in time. Falcon might just blitz this enhanced Lord.
It is the perfect opening for them. And even if they decide, hey, we don't want to end this right now, they have plenty of time. They scale so well into the late game with a Bruno and a Vexana. BTK are they're relying on Zia and maybe White Chicken being able to find the angle right now, but what can they even do here?
They're very low, but it's not low enough to actually threaten anyone. And you could see the crazy zoning from Kid X just standing there menacingly, stopping Zane. You shall not pass.
It may be a kid, but he is a terrifying one right now. As BTK, there is no way for them to break through. The only ideal situation is somehow Shark slows them down when they overcommit, and then White Chicken goes in and melts their backline. There is no other way to disrupt Falcon Esports. Their lineup is honest, it's simple, but it works, and they have the right options, and they're gonna try and end this right now.
They'll get the bottom lane base turret. Kid X still with the immortality already. Mobazane looking for a bit of damage, looking to go for the taunt fight. Chicken will go in with the vengeance and the electrifying beats onto the minion waves and onto the Lord. Kid X getting the implosion down! Gets it! A big implosion, not enough to take anyone down though. No one was there to follow it up. Shark looking for the play, trying to bait out the minion waves. Zia still kiting. It was one ball over. Benny looking for the crit. Over to Shark. One last one. He finds it. That's a double. Now Chicken caught in the midst of it all. The shove from Kid X will bring him back. Dax is unstoppable. Falcon fly high. Benny gets a triple on the Bruno. And they recall on the BloodThirstyKings corpses as they qualify to the knockout stages.
They may be falcons, but they are embodying the spirit of vultures as they circle their prey from above, just waiting for that final stroke to come. Falcon Esports denies BTK and claims yet another spot, moving on into the top 8, the knockout stages of M6.
Falcon Esports with a reverse sweep again. 2 matches, 2 reverse sweeps.
Let's go ahead and throw it back to the panel. I'm sure they'll have a lot to tell us because this was a great one.
Me and Mark are now confidently